Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Hey lovely, I have something a little bit different for the Brand Lover podcast this week. It is an excerpt from a live session that I did recently on Instagram, all about discovering your brand personality. And it's a term that is often used around the topic of branding, but I want to dissect it and I want to break it apart for you and give you real life examples so that you can open your eyes and be aware of how having a defined brand personality helps you to distinguish yourself from other brands. I'm not going to say too much because we're going to dive in right now, but I just wanted to drop in, say hello, and hope you enjoy.
There is a myth that your brand is sort of like defined by your logo, but it's actually sort of the wrong way around. Your logo actually is a symbol for what your brand represents. It's a distinguishable feature. It's a visual reference, very basically. And so the most common thing that happens when you first start a business is that you go on a hunt for a logo designer or, a logo template, or you design one yourself. And the problem then is that there is a whole process that is missing. It's this key ingredient to truly discovering what your brand is. Now, brand personalities are actually a really useful tool for consumers to distinguish the difference between, say, your brand and another brand that they may be considering. So if you think about brands as like humans, let's just say that every single brand in your marketplace, like that you're competing against, because competition is real, it is healthy, and it doesn't have to be sinister. But truly, if you are a business and you are trying to attract a certain type of client or customer, you will have competition. So what's going to happen is your consumers are going to be comparing your brand in this marketplace to other brands, to your competitors. And that's just the reality of being in business. A way that you can stand out is through your brand personality. So let's come back to this concept that brands are human beings. Human beings each have this unique personality that makes them who they are. It defines how they make decisions. It defines how they react to things. It governs their emotions and their feelings and what's important to them. It sort of shapes how they want to be perceived, and it shapes how they dress and how they interact with people and how they make other people feel. Okay, so if you replace the word human with brand, that's exactly what your brand should be doing. Now, if we come back to your logo, your logo can't possibly do all of those things. Your brand foundation and your strategy help you to uncover your brand personality. And there is so much more to it than simply choosing a logo. It's a multi-layered process. It's almost like going on a journey, a retreat of self-discovery, to find yourself, or discover who you are. But in this case, it's actually working out the answers to some very specific questions that are going to help you to make decisions, proactive decisions about the brand that you want to create. So that's also, something that as humans, sometimes we go along life believing that this is, you just are who you are and you can't change that. But that's actually false as well. You can create the life that you want. You can create the person that you want to be. And yes, we have fundamental and intrinsic personality traits. But I truly 100% believe that just as we as humans can sort of, shape ourselves and how we want to be perceived, so too you can do with your brand. And so this is all of the things that are not visible. And I believe that this is why small business owners fall into the trap of thinking that the visible things of your brand, like the logo and the color palette and how you're communicating, is, that I believe that is why so many fall into this trap. Whereas the, big brands would never even dream of bringing a product to the marketplace without first establishing their brand strategy, because their brand strategy, their brand, and the result of that being, one of the results of that being your brand personality, actually helps you to determine how you need to show up in the marketplace to attract the right people, how you need to present yourself in comparison to your competitors in order to stand out. It also gives you the confidence to know that you don't have to be like other brands, aka humans, people. You have the confidence to be who you are and to follow that dream in your heart of the brand that you want to create. There is space in the marketplace for you. There is a gap in every marketplace, even though we live in a world that is incredibly saturated, like particularly with digital marketing and all of the free resources available to us. There is space, but it's a matter of actually spending the time, slowing down, spending some intentional time and strategic thought to find where that gap is and to discover exactly how you need to show up. So just for example, when it comes to your brand personality, let's just have a think of a scenario about, let's just say your brand is a human and they are trying to make new friends, which is what your brand is trying to do, okay? You want to make new friends that are like-minded. You want to make new friends that have the same belief system as you. You want to make new friends that share the same values, that come from the same culture. It is human nature to want to be around and surround yourself with people who are like. Like attracts like, and it's the same with your brand, okay? So you need to be strategic about how you are showing up in the marketplace. Whether or not you're a personal brand or you have a human element to your brand as well, that can be incorporated as well. But that is the key to unlocking how to be a magnet to your perfect customers, is to be the person that they need you to be the brand that is going to mean something to them, that makes them want to be around you. Just like you would when you're going on a first date. You don't just rock up in, I don't know, I don't even know what you'd rock up in. I haven't been on a date in about 20 years. So I don't know why I used that as an example. That was terrible. Now I'm distracting myself. But it's the same principle where you don't want to show up for a date looking like you don't care. And that's the impression that you're giving if you are showing up with a brand that is lackluster, that is confused. Nobody wants to hang around somebody that's confused about who they are and sending off all of these weird, like strange messages. Like one day they represent this and another day they're on this bandwagon for this cause. Like, it's inconsistent and it's scattered and it's off-putting. So the point here is that once you discover your brand personality, you can step into that brand personality every time you are doing something that is communicating your brand message. And that consistency is what is going to be attractive to your audience.
And there you have it. I would absolutely love to know if this helped to clarify anything for you, if it helped to turn on any light bulbs inside that beautiful mind of yours. Feel free to come and say hello on Instagram, or if you're on my email list, just reply to one of my emails. I'm always open for a little chat. And I also just wanted to let you know that if you do not have a really clearly defined brand personality, or you're feeling a little lost with your brand, perhaps a little disillusioned or out of alignment with it, or perhaps you are starting a new brand, which is very exciting, I just wanted to let you know that my one-on-one services are very quickly booking out for the rest of the year. And I know that it's only August, but we are hurtling towards Christmas, my friends. And so if you are interested in rebranding or taking yourself through the branding process to establish a really strong brand that oozes personality and is very distinctive, please get in touch, because Christmas is almost upon us, and I would absolutely love for you to head into 2023 ready to smash it, skipping with confidence, knowing that your brand is aligned and beautiful and everything that you really want it to be. So thank you so much for joining me for another episode, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.